How do you alleviate the pressure off of a young second-year quarterback? Very simple. Assemble a dominant running game. Let's get it cracking. Yo, 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 no maniacs, super no maniacs, and all in between. Welcome to another edition of Feed the Bears, where I do my job to feed you guys, the Bears, all the content that I can give you. And so here's another video when I got so many things on my mind when I'm just very excited right now about how Chicago has gone about, kind of redistributing what they want to bring to the table as far as, getting this roster built up probably a couple, 2, 3 years too late, in my opinion, getting this offensive line and in the trenches on both sides of the ball reassembled and getting some dominant pieces in there. And so today's video is about, should Ryan Poles draft 2 running backs? Let me start from the beginning, and I'm going to get myself quickly to that point. Number one, you got to love the pieces that they put up front on the offense. You got to love that the interior of that offensive line, and potentially, on the outside, the bookends, we'll see what happens with Braxton Jones, but I feel really good about Darnell Wright and the idea of putting Jonah Jackson right next to him. I think that is going to be ferocious for whoever is running that ball behind those two, because you get those guys out in the open and pulling it and getting those guys in attack mode, and they're getting downfield on guys. That is going to be fun to watch, period. Now, we know that that's what they're going to do, because someone asked, I think, Jonah during that presser, where are they telling you you're going to play it? And I believe he said on the right side. Just thinking about those two dudes, and those two are the nasty and the bad disposition guys on that offensive line. Those guys are going to bring the nasty, in my opinion. I got so many reasons for saying that, but here we go, talking about the running backs. You've done that part. You feel like you've really fortified your offensive line. Now you want to really, what is Ben Johnson going to feature? What is this offense going to feature? I don't think you get too far away from what you saw in Detroit. They're going to pound people and let that offensive line be the feature of how they attack teams. They're going to set the tone and the tempo of how the Chicago Bears attack. I put 100%, I put a guarantee on that. That's how they're going to want to play football. They're going to really be physical, really be upfront dominant, man. It's going to be fun to watch. Now, 2 running backs in the draft. Let me explain why I say this. When you assemble an offensive line that has a potential of being as dominant as I think it's going to be, you have to put another couple of running backs in that room. Why? DeAndre Swift, I think, is a great running back. I'm not one of those people who saw what he saw last year and think it's just all DeAndre Swift and he's no longer a good running back. To me, that's a bunch of hooey. It was just the functionality of that offensive line caused what you saw last year. He's still going to be a really good running back, and I hope they keep him in this room. And you still, in my opinion, should draft 2 running backs. Now, it is my opinion, and nobody really cares about what I want them to do, but this is the reasoning behind it. And so right away, I'll get into some details about each one of these guys. This is TreVeyon Henderson from Ohio State and Damien Martinez from Miami. Now, TreVeyon Henderson, I fully expect to be one of the first 2 to 5 backs off that board. If he's probably top 3, probably top 3 off the board. And I'll tell you why he's a particular. Now, we already heard from Eddie George, came in for a coaching interview, that they're high on TreVeyon Henderson, and they're going to probably target him. And I'll tell you why. And you remember I told you guys this. If we draft TreVeyon Henderson and they interview Ryan Poles, I'm telling you, one of the first things that's going to come out of his mouth is acceleration. Acceleration. And so this guy really, really reminds me of Jahmyr Gibbs. They're pretty much the same body type, almost to the T. Both about 5'10", 5'11", about 205, 208 pounds, somewhere in that neighborhood. Exact same running back. Exact same acceleration to really, he really goes from 0 to 10 really, really fast. And he also boasts about 6 to 7 yard average per pop. So this guy is extremely explosive, man. The speed in which he can accelerate and he gets people behind him so fast. It's easy to picture him in an offense like this in a Jahmyr Gibbs kind of featured role. It's easy to kind of see that. And so now, I mean, also here's another feature about TreVeyon Henderson. Unless you watched enough tape, you probably wouldn't know. This guy in pass pro will absolutely uncork on you real quick. I mean, I seen that guy stone blitzes coming in the middle, full speed. I mean, just completely stop him in their tracks. I mean, completely. It was almost scary to see him meet that linebacker in the hole a couple times that I did. I mean, full throttle. I mean, bam, just stop him cold. And also Damien Martinez, he's 232. He does the same exact thing. Both of those guys feature great pass protection ability. So those are one more component you want to throw in, when you talk about these two backs. And so this is what I expect. I think early, who knows if they keep the 10th pick, if they move back. I'm not certain that they'll get a running back with that first pick that they get unless they slide back, several spaces just to accumulate a few more picks. But I do think between the first time they pick, second time they pick, somewhere in that neighborhood, I think they're going to get a running back. And if TreVeyon Henderson is there, I think he's probably going to be the back that they pick first. Now, later on in the draft, let's talk about Damien Martinez. I did a video about him, and hopefully you guys saw that. But when I think about a Chicago Bears running back, I think about physicality. Anybody that's been a Bears fan as long as me, you think about those things when you start, what is the makeup of a Chicago Bears running back? And Damien Martinez is everything. And I don't think you have to reach to get him. I think he falls somewhere in the neighborhood of the middle rounds and gets picked somewhere in there, right there in a perfect setup for us, man. I think we've done a good job assembling most parts of this roster. There's probably going to be some depth pieces that get, brought on somewhere in the trenches later on during the draft. But holy crap, this Damien Martinez is everything that I ever imagine a Chicago Bears running back to be. He's going to be a load. Lateral agility is incredible for a guy his size. His feet's incredible. You don't expect guys the size of this kid to be as agile as he is, and he's got some decent top end speed. I'm not saying he's going to take off and run a bunch of 70-yarders, but he's got the capabilities. He's definitely got the capabilities. And so very, very high on both these guys. And again, they both boast about 6 to 7 yards average per run. And so that's impressive. And they both played in pretty competitive leagues, talking about the ACC for Damien Martinez, of course, the Big Ten for TreVeyon Henderson. Both of them have high pedigrees. And so, again, I would just, I always try to encourage people to go and look at the film as much as you can or as much as you want. But if you do nothing else, just watch the highlights and come and tell me in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about what I said versus what you saw. Look forward to those comments every time. And so, again, man, this is one of those exciting videos for me, man. I just can't contain my enthusiasm for what I know these guys can do in the draft. And I think there's a lot of people out there, I think, that probably feel the same way as me. They feel like we should draft a couple of running backs. You really need to get that stable inside. They're pretty strong. I'm one of those people that even before Roschon Johnson was drafted, I'm not going to say I didn't think a whole lot of them. I just didn't think of them the way I heard a whole bunch of other people, really wax poetic about him. And I'm just like, I'm not seeing what they're seeing. And as a pro, I'm still not seeing what they saw in him. I really don't, man. But, I really wish him well. I hope he can compete in this room. And I hope we see a better running back into what is his third year now. I hope we see a lot better running back and he shuts me up because I'm just not that high on him. I really am not. I would love to see this. And you really got to improve this this running back room with the improvements on the O-line. So you want to, this is us. This is a real easy take for me. They didn't do anything in free agency in regards to running back. So naturally, I think if they want to really make that room strong, which is what I think I heard Ben Johnson say they want to really improve there, this is how you do it. You got to draft a running back early. You got to draft one late, man. These are two really good prospects to look at. Damien Martinez from Miami and TreVeyon Henderson from Ohio State. Great physical running backs, boasting a 6 to 7 yard average, will really uncoil on you in the pass protection. Great natural hands, both of them. Man, they've got everything you're looking for, man. We could really be dominant in the run game with these two running backs. But go check them out and let me know in the comment section what you guys thought about what I said versus what you saw. So in this video with these famous words, and oh, before I do that, don't forget, man, we're doing a prospect show tonight. Some of the draft prospects, some of these unheralded guys that, you know, not a lot of people talk about. I really pride myself in finding some of those guys. I got this one guy in particular, this tight end, man. I want you guys to come in there and see that tonight at 8 p.m. Central. I think you're gonna like this guy right here and what I'm gonna describe to you, and then plus what you see when you go look at the film for yourself. You're gonna really like that kid. But that's what I got for tonight, and that's 8 p.m. Central. That's what I got for this one, and I'm gonna leave you guys with these famous words. If you can think it and you can see it, there's no reason in the world why you cannot absolutely manifest it. Do not, now repeat, do not be a prisoner of your own mind. But with that being said, I am